let's bring on board Mr. Nagaraj Shetti of HDFC Securities joining us on the technicals. Of course, Kunal still continues to be with us. Nagaraj, hi, good afternoon. Good to have you on board. Give us your sense on how the charts are shaping up for the Nifty versus the broader end of the market, and where are you seeing more upside potential in the next 1 or 2 weeks?
Hi, good afternoon, Snehi. Thank you for having me. Nifty has been in a consolidation phase since morning. I think the overall chart pattern is still positive. I think high tops and bottoms is intact on the Nifty and the daily as well as weekly time frame chart. And recently we have seen a formation of higher bottom. The bottom is intact and currently facing resistance around 24,400 levels. So it's a consolidation phase. 1 or 2 days we could see Nifty bouncing back and moving above the hurdle of 24,400 and 500 levels in the near term. So more upside likely in the near term after the consolidation phase.
Okay, how much of an upside, if at all we were to hit 24,500, then what next, Nagaraj?
Around 25,000 is going to be the next important resistance once it sustainably moves above 24,500.
And what sectors? What's your sector bias?
I have two stock sector. I think defense sector, banking, PSU banking, metals, and even hospitals, healthcare sector is looking positive.
Okay, and your stocks, Nagaraj?
I have two stocks for alongside. One is Dredging Corporation. This is a mid-cap stock. After a correction, it has bounced back very well from the lower levels around 1100, formed a higher bottom, currently trading around 1130 levels. The overall chart pattern is looking positive. One can look to buy at current market, and the immediate target would be around 1190, and one can place a stop loss at 1100. Second one is from a realty side, Centec Realty. After a bounce back, the stock has reacted slightly down in today's session and consolidated at the hurdle somewhere around 315, 316 levels. The overall chart pattern is indicating a formation important reversal pattern. I'm expecting a decisive breakout in the near term. So currently trading around 312 levels, one can look to buy at 312. The immediate target would be around 330 and one can place a stop loss at 305.
Okay, those are the two stocks that Nagaraj is liking at the moment. Kunal, coming to you, two stocks from the pharma pack that are abuzz today. One is, of course, Cipla. US FDA has inspected the manufacturing plant at Pithampur and come out with 7 observations. On the flip side, Lupin is in focus. They've won the ruling on Vertex patents for cystic fibrosis drug, and that's a positive coming in for Lupin. How are you looking at both of these names on the charts, Cipla and Lupin?
Believe our bullish charts. Cipla, I think, did recently well. The stock moved up from 1400 levels to 1500 mark, and now it's corrected back to that 1400 starting point of the rally. So, which means price-wise, I think Cipla is at an attractive price juncture. Lupin has already gone through a decent correction. I think the stock went through almost like a 10-12% plus correction, has come back sub the 200 moving average. I would believe both of these stocks are looking attractive at the current juncture, and the risk reward is attractive for traders to look at a fresh buy into this name. Look at it this way, that the entire pharma sector has been doing very well. And within pharma stocks, you have two formidable names which are available at almost like a 10% odd kind of a discount with respect to their swing highs. So I would believe it's a good time to try and nibble into these stocks, specifically from a medium to long-term perspective.
Okay, that's the take on Lupin as well as Cipla on the charts. But on that note, Kunal and Nagaraj will continue speaking to us on the other side of this short break. Viewers, stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, and we of course have with us both Nagaraj as well as Kunal. Nagaraj, any of the gold financiers looking interesting to you at this point?
Yes, gold finance, I think Muthoot has done very well recently, bounced back sharply from the lower levels. Currently just moved above the 200 DM in the last 2 sessions. The overall chart pattern is looking positive and attempting to move above the consolidation phase. Currently around 3,215, I think more upside is likely in the short term.
KPI Global in particular, 8.5% move. How is this one looking like on charts? Kunal, that one was for you. KPI Global.
Okay, I understand. So KP Global, I think on the short-term charts, we're looking at this stock trying to come back into a recovery. Last, I think 3 days or 4 days, we've seen a 20% kind of an up move from 220 or 210 levels. The stock has come back towards 260 mark. It's a good breakout, exceptionally strong volumes, looks quite attractive. However, I think may not be the best time to try and purchase the stock because of that. What happens is if a stock runs up in a matter of 3 or 4 days by 20% or kind of a uptick, the indicators tend to get overbought. So maybe buying on dips could be a better strategy. Say a 5% kind of a correction could be a good starting point from current levels. Say somewhere around 245, 250 could be a good starting point.
And with regard to Seagull India, Nagaraj, I wonder if you have a view there.
I didn't get you. Sorry, I'm not tracking right now, Rajnish. I won't be able to comment.
Oh, okay, understood. Kunal, would you have a view with regard to this one? 4.5% move, and it's been a stock where every time you have an order win, it moves up. So I'm trying to get a sense as to whether there's an opportunity here on charts.
I think it's a decent chart, Harsh, Seagull India, because I remember, I think, discussing about the stock, I think a week or two back also. So what's actually happened is that the recent low for the stock in 2025 was around 250 mark for Seagull. The stock jumped up to 400 and then followed by 2 months of consecutive price corrections. So the month of July, the stock corrected around 10%, 12%. The month of August, the stock prices had corrected by another 7-8%, but we've recovered to now being almost like 1.5% down only for the August month. So in the effect of doing that, it's formed a bullish hammer pattern. Technically, very bullish on the charts. I mean, on the stock price. I would expect the stock to maybe potentially come back to that 400 levels in the next 2 to 3 months. So near to medium term kind of a time frame, I think a decent 20% upside could be seen into the stock price.
Okay, that's the technical view on Seagull India, and back-to-back order wins for this company for the last 3 to 4 days. In fact, more details on that order along with a list of all the other buzzers in trade. That's what Meryl is joining us on the show with right now. Meryl.
Right, so these are all of the stocks that we're seeing in focus today. Starting first with Moltech Packaging. The company has approved a 1:1 bonus issue and has also recommended a final dividend of 3 rupees per share for FY26. And this is why the stock is in focus. Seagull India has appeared as the L1 bidder for a project from REC Power Development, with the project carrying an annual value of 608 crores for a 35-year period. And in an F&O related development, we've seen a bunch of stocks in focus. These are Bank of Maharashtra, Ather Energy and Sagility. This is coming in as and the NSE has added these stocks to their F&O list effective today, the 26th of August. This has led to higher trading activity and liquidity in the stocks, including institutional inflows that we'll see going out from today onwards. So this is why all of these three stocks are also buzzing in trade today.
Meryl, thanks for that. And if we could just have these three stocks on air, this plate, Ather Energy, Bank of Maharashtra and Sagility India, on the back of F&O inclusion starting today. Just take a look at Bank of Maharashtra. It's almost higher by 5%. Sagility India is up 3%. Let's break down all of those stocks and get individual views from our technical experts. Kunal, let's start with you. Bank of Maharashtra. I remember we've been discussing this stocks for some time, but 5% uptick on Bank of Maharashtra today. 85.5 is where it is at. Are you spotting further runway on the charts?
I do so, Sneh, because what's actually happened is that now Bank of Maharashtra is one of the very few banking names of course, on the PSU side, which is actually confirming breakouts of their swing resistances. So recovery after every price correction, consolidation, and then a further leg of a breakout on the upside. These are classical patterns which we look out for. So like what we discussed earlier, much earlier, I think for the stock price, when I remember, I think Bank of Maharashtra was somewhere around 55, 60 odd range. Even from that kind of a time frame, the stock looks attractive. Currently also, I would be bullish on Bank of Maharashtra.
Okay, the bullishness continues on Bank of Maharashtra. The other two stocks in focus on the back of the F&O inclusion is Ather Energy as well as Sagility. Your view, Nagaraj, on both of these stocks, how are they shaping up on the charts?
Yeah, first from Sagility has bounced back very well from the lower levels. Structurally moving up, higher tops and bottoms is on the cards, and today it has declined a bit from the higher levels, but overall chart pattern is looking positive. More upside is likely. for the Sagility. And second, for Ather was moving in a range bound action. It has made an attempt of moving above the range. It has been rested at the 2010 and day EMA. The overall chart pattern is looking very positive for this, gradually moving up over the last few months. Higher tops and bottoms is also on the cards. So more upside likely for both the stocks, Ather and the Sagility for the near term.
Okay, that's on Ather as well as Sagility. But the other stock in focus, and we've been talking about this from the Pharma pack, is Lupin. This stock is in action after it won the 4-year-long patent case filed by Vertex. This victory clears the path for its genetic cystic fibrosis drug, and Meryl is joining us with more details and how positive this could be for the stock. Meryl.
Is in focus today after it's won a 4-year-long litigation against Vertex Pharmaceuticals. This is over its drug Calideco. A US court has rejected Vertex's infringement claims and has cleared the way for Lupin to pursue its very own generic version of Calideco. And the legal battle dates back to July 2021 when Vertex first sued Lupin after receiving notice of its ANDA filing and its intent to challenge the 481 patent. Vertex then expanded the litigation in May 2023, and the cases was subsequently consolidated with litigation along with Sun Pharma's case as well. Now for Lupin, this is a positive development from a complex litigation and US generics perspective, and the company has already received the appropriate US FDA approvals for its Calideco oral granules generics. However, the commercial upside coming in from this approval may be limited. This is given the declining sales that Vertex has already seen in this drug. And as this is more of an older version of the drug, Vertex has already released a newer and much improved drug that's called Trikafta, which remains the dominant franchise in the cystic fibrosis segment for Vertex as well. So this used to be a blockbuster drug for Vertex initially, but that is now reduced. The sales of that has now reduced and gone towards Trifecta. So the potential revenue opportunity that Lupin may be looking at is going to be a little bit limited. And however, it is a meaningful legal win, but the near-term commercial impact, if we look at it only from a numbers perspective, is a bit limited for Lupin today, and that is why we're seeing modest up moves in the stock today.
Meryl, thanks so much for putting that into perspective for us. That's on Lupin. Before we slip into a very short break, just want to highlight another stock that's seen a sharp uptick in the last few minutes, and that's Tata Steel. The Supreme Court has quashed the tax demand penalty order of 1,781 crore rupees against the company. They've issued notice to Tata Steel, hearing the returnable on October 5, 2026. And this Supreme Court notice was for the hearing for case against the state of Odisha. So positive for Tata Steel, and we've seen a turnaround in that stock and a sharp spike in the green, 1% uptick over there. We'll get a view on some of these metal names on the other side of this break from our experts, but stay tuned and we'll be right back.